Well, hello there to my Virgos. This is Queen Moon Ra coming to you with your general reading. Virgos, this reading is for the 17th through the 24th of September. Hopefully everybody's having a great day. If you're not, I'm sending you lots of love and light. Sending lots of love and light your way. We're going to just dive right in. We are in eclipse season. We had a full blood moon recently on the same day as the total lunar eclipse, and so we're coming up on this solar eclipse. Solar eclipses are about resetting, whereas lunar eclipses are about letting go of some things, right? And so you're doing a reset button here. Got a reset button going on here. So let's get started. Let's get right on into it. So here's the Hermit card. And so you all are very wise souls, Virgos. And so we're starting out with your card. This week for you is about reflection, wisdom, and following your inner light, right? So a portal is opening up wider and wider for you. Even though we're closing out a cycle, we're coming to the end of something. We're coming to the end of a cycle. Your challenge has been the Two of Pentacles here. That's balancing responsibility. May actually test your patience. And the challenge is to juggle priorities without sacrificing your peace. So you want to find out what your zodiac sign is in your second house. Taurus rules second house. And you all rule sixth house, right? And so there could have been somebody in your you may not be paying too much attention to your own self-worth and your own, your physical, right? And it may be throwing you out of alignment, disrupting, causing, your money to be lowered and lower and lower. And Source is trying to balance some things out for you. So you don't want your money to run out because somebody is not really being as meticulous as they have been in the past here. And so past influences have been Four of Swords. Source really needs you to get your rest. And so recently you've needed rest and healing. And so that pause has restored some strength for what lies ahead. Right, so Source really wants you to get some rest. You could have been connected to some energies that you may have felt like, okay, I need to, not get some rest. It's almost like somebody could be overworked but not have a balanced out life. That's why we see the Justice card here, like putting too much work in to a point where it's just oversaturating something, like oversaturating your presence somewhere where you don't give people a chance to miss you in a sense, right? And so people may just kind of sort of start taking something for granted because you're already in your star. So putting yourself out there too much is just maybe oversaturating things and actually lowering your worth and your value. And so Source needs you to kind of sort of pull back, whoever you are, a little bit. Go into Hermit mode a little bit, right? You may be passionate about what you do, but kind of go back and, just kind of balance it out a little bit, right? So your conscious goals and a star, somebody who's already in star power, Aquarius rules 11th house, that's their card, may help you to balance some things out. So if you have anybody in your life that just kind of says like, hey, they don't mind kind of sort of stepping back out of the spotlight because stars shine in bright space. Think about in the sky, stars, takes many stars to brighten up the sky. So you don't always need to be kind of on the scene all the time everywhere. Your conscious goal is, the Queen of Pentacles here. You're striving for stability, security, and nurturing energy. So your goal is to create balance between work and self-care, right? So there's going to be a balance there. So an unconscious goal is the Nine of Swords. There's two sides of the swords here. You're trying to wake up from a nightmare, but so are other people, right? So if you're like showing just like way too much, think about it this way, like that person who volunteers for everything, at work. It's like, okay, can we call on somebody else to do something? Like you could be, you may have perfected some things, right? You may see some things you're like, I really want to perfect something, right? But it's actually lowering your money, it's lowering your worth, it's lowering your value. And so Source is trying to help somebody balance some things out. Somebody doesn't always have to be at the forefront. Stars don't have to be at the forefront. They shine bright in dark spaces. And so they know how to kind of sort of fall back a little bit and say, okay, well, hey, you know what? I know what it feels like to be a star. It can be draining after a while. So somebody has already gone down a rabbit hole. See this little white rabbit here? And too much overdoing it, oversaturating things could cause you to lose out on sleep and lose out on other things. Next thing you know, your money is lowering. You feel like, okay, I can't figure this out. Why is my money so low? And I'm just, just always somewhere. You don't have to accept every invitation to everywhere. The external influences for you is going to be the Six of Pentacles. This is support and generosity surround you. So be open to both giving and receiving. It brings harmony, right? People know that you're a gift to them because of your meticulous nature, right? They know that you're a gift. But every now and then you may just pop out, ta-da, right? On some people like, ta-da, hey, here I am again, bow, right? So anyway, but Source is just trying to help somebody just to learn, how to just kind of not always be, available as much. And so your hopes and fears would be the Five of Cups here. You may fear loss or regret overshadowing your blessings. And so Spirit urges you to shift your focus forward to what remains. So this is about, somebody could be thinking somebody is like talking about them behind their back and it's causing you nightmares. But remember, a lot of people are just awakening to nightmares. 4 and 9 is 13. Everybody is going through some kind of a rebirth. Matter of fact, that's the Judgment card. It will be in Aquarius until 2043. So at various points in time, some information may cross over. So your coworker, your colleague may say something to you that's just like triggers a nightmare. Or somebody in your personal life may say something that triggers a nightmare. You could be watching something on social media that triggers some kind of a nightmare. But nevertheless, you are learning how to put the past behind you, where you're not, focusing on who's talking about you behind your back. I mean, who cares, for real? Like, what so again, you just try your hardest. That's all I can say. Just give it your best. Outcome for you is going to be by week's end. Cycle completes. Success, fulfillment, closure. Open your way for a new chapter in your life. And so this week is all about wisdom. It's about renewal and completion. The Hermit card is going to guide you inward. The Star card is going to restore hope, right? It's going to restore hope. And then the World card brings closure. It just brings closure, right? And so with the Justice and the Queen of Pentacles, you're quite resourceful. Like I said before, you're balancing things out in your personal and your professional life. And so you're getting balanced and grounded and being true to yourself. It's like, okay, you're resourceful. Hey, you're not going to wear yourself out. You're not going to lower your own worth and value by assuming people are intentionally trying to cause nightmares and force you into a rebirth, right? Where somebody, what I'm thinking about is like how little kids fight sleep, right? Like somebody's like, okay, if I go to sleep, I'm going to miss something. And so it's like, no, you're not going to miss anything. You're not going to miss anything, right? There's many stars in the sky. There's no competition with stars in the sky, as you can see on this card right here. Somebody is literally going through a rebirth. Somebody's learning, okay, I have resources. I have access to resources. I've gone on that path before where maybe you were the star in your workplace or your field or career or whatever the case may be. And so somebody's not going to miss anything. So it could be some energies in your life that's kind of sort of lowering making you feel like, your money is going out the door. You may see, okay, well, I could do that and I could do this, and creatively I can do this. The back straight, I see you walking away from something. And don't cast your pearls before swine. Yeah, so it's all becoming clear now. Something is becoming very clear to you now. Somebody never stopped loving you. Somebody never really stopped loving you, right? But you're leaving some energies behind, right? Third eye chakra cleanse. You have the gift of clairaudience. This is clear listening. You may have been linking up with someone's second house, whatever your second house, your zodiac sign is in your second house, like secretly linking up with energies or wanting to. In the physical sense, wanting to link up in the physical sense. Here we have the Four of Swords, maybe sleep with, maybe. For some of you all, maybe you saw something that made you kind of feel like, okay, I want to go down that path. I want to visit that path. And something could have pulled you down to a lower frequency. But you're getting back on your more meticulous, analyzing some things about yourself. Really, really analyzing some things about yourself, right? So you're closing out cycles. You're enforcing boundaries. Something that possibly having to do with someone's ex. A Pisces may be involved in something. A Leo could be involved in something. And Aries could be involved in something and overstepping some boundaries as far as you're concerned. And so for you, you may say, okay, I need to enforce some boundaries, and I need to set and enforce boundaries. But somebody felt at stealing your identity. And so stealing your identity is not always it could be in the physical. And somebody could have wanted to be like you. Two family members could have wanted to be like you. They, in some way, shape, form, or fashion. It doesn't matter if you're younger or older. You may have looked up to them. You may have felt like they were looking down on you. However, they would have switched places with you in a heartbeat. So in a physical sense, right? So, maybe somebody has kind of top heavy, right? Or maybe somebody doesn't have a whole lot in the bottom area. Like if you're a man, woman, or whatever, maybe you have if a man, you may have really broad shoulders as a guy. And, kind of like I said, top heavy as a man or woman. You could have like broad shoulders, and just the way that you look. Somebody could be like, okay, this person, you when they step in the room, you notice them, right? Up top could be heavy, down the bottom could be smaller. So source is saying something about your physical appearance. People would switch places with you in a heartbeat in your family, right? And so source is saying to you, maybe you saw something where you wanted to link up with somebody, and we got the Four of Swords here, and something just would not let you rest. So you went down a rabbit hole. And so something could, whenever you go down to a lower frequency, you're picking up everything on that particular frequency, right? So to possibly hit a reset button with your third eye, you're, looking through the 852, maybe 852 hertz, may be a good hertz for you to look at. So to hit a reset button. Yeah, so somebody went down a rabbit hole and something ended up being a nightmare for you. And again, a lot of it is love language. Your love language may be, in the physical. Somebody else's love language may be just like, like I said, you could be at the root of something, like in the physical realm. That's a lower, so you want to get physically close to energies, right? Physically, next door, upstairs, a floor below, and move into a house next door, whatever. And so source is saying, and some people's love language is their heart. They're trying to make a connection with communication, like talk to them, like don't just secretly be just kind of, I want to, hook up with some energies. And so source is just saying, hook up, like going to lunch, going to, whatever, in secret. So document your dreams day and night. Document your dreams day and night. Somebody is an incubus spirit. Yeah. You could have been contaminated by incubus spirit. That's the danger of going down to a lower frequency. You pick up so many things on a lower frequency, it takes you a minute to kind of sort of sift through. And that's where you're going back to being more meticulous. Somebody could have been dealing with a Taurus and another Virgo. You could have been dealing with a Cancer. You could have been dealing with Taurus in your family. A Virgo, another Virgo in your family, a Sagittarius, a Leo. Something you could have been dealing with zodiac signs right in your own family that you didn't know being connected to them was actually lowering your frequency. So source said it's time for you to set some very clear boundaries. So message from your ancestors. Message from your ancestors. You want to listen to your inner voice. Yeah, because after a while, people start to realize, okay, somebody's overstepping a boundary, right? You hooking up with some people in your family, not being able to get some rest because you saw something and you're just like, okay, I wanna link up with this energy, and going down a rabbit hole, and it could end up being a nightmare for you because somebody else could secretly want to link up and they be coming through you. Somebody could be coming through you. So it looks like there's two energies. Taurus, Scorpio, there's the polarities there. Yeah, so then we have, let's see, for Cancer, Capricorn, Scorpio, Taurus, Sagittarius, Gemini, Virgo, Pisces, Leo, Aquarius. So all of this, like somebody, like in twos, like couples, that's what I'm seeing here. Couples, trying to, connect with energies. But Source is saying to you, you're casting your pearls before swine. Basically, like it would be like equivalent to this. Let's say you're interested in somebody, right? And you want to date somebody, and you start showing people pictures of somebody secretly wants what you want. Somebody secretly wants what you like, and you're casting pearls before swine. It ends up being a nightmare for you. What Source is trying to get somebody to learn how to do is stop sharing so much information. Like, some things need to be kept too close to the cuff, like for real. That's why when some people step into like new relationships and they realize, oh, this person has been talking to their friends and family. For some people, that is a complete and total turn off. I mean, for real, it's a complete and total turn off, because it's almost like am I dealing with an adult or a kid? Like, they got to go through 10 people to figure out, that's who they like or don't like. Like, what's this? Right. So somebody may have shared some, information on the internet and crossed the boundary. So you're inviting help. So invite the divine to pursue you. Seriously, just say, I'm finally ready, God, pursue me. Yeah. Somebody may have sent the picture around. Oh, look, I like this person here. Whatever. And other people are like, oh, Virgo doesn't have any boundaries. We always set boundaries in other areas for Virgo, and Virgo didn't say one word. They just went along with the flow. And so it's like, if you really, really like somebody and you feel like, okay, they are a star, and you're trying to go down the path, best thing you can do is keep things close to the cuff. Keep it to yourself, because going down the path by sharing information, nightmare. Yep. So, triumphant success. So you will be cutting ties with some energies, and now stepping into your number 4, because somebody feels like something is their way or the highway, and you fell for some kind of okie doke. 1 and 4 is 5, and now people are talking about you behind your back, because again, Source is trying to tell you, you're sharing too much. Like, I don't know who I'm talking to, but somebody is still showing pictures, and I like this person, and we talked, and and I'm thinking this and that, without even realizing somebody got some haters in their own family. And so when you're talking to an energy who is kind of sort of comfortable in their star, meaning that they know who they are, they know their worth and their value, right, as a star, and regardless of what people are saying, they're like, okay, well, I got this picture of this energy, or this is floating around on the dark web, or this is this and that, so on and so forth. Somebody crossed the line and did some things. I guarantee you somebody did not authorize. If somebody's floating around on the dark web, for instance, and their status has changed, and if you're sharing something like, I really like this energy, I wouldn't judge somebody, whatever. So it's the same. It doesn't matter whether you were judging. You connected with some energies that baited you into something, and now people are talking about you behind your back. Source is going to stop somebody. So you're hitting a reset button, because Source is going to stop you from talking to certain family members. They keep lowering your not only your money, but your value. Whoever you are, you're going to stop talking to certain family members, because, or even linking up with certain people talking about certain things, because they are going to lower your worth and your value. That's how a lot of people miss out on twin flame and soulmates, running everything through their family, can't stop themselves. When the family then lied to you about all kinds of stuff, still owe you money, haven't paid you back. Pentacles is not just about money, paper, and coins. It's also about self-worth. Y'all know what I'm saying. Some of them family members, they've been owing you some money for 20, 30 years, thinking, oh, you got it like that, so I don't care whether I give it back to you or not. It's the same thing in your relationships. 315, declutter life. So create mental space. Your state of mind is a direct reflection of your physical space. Your angels are signaling to you that work needs to be done here. The time is right to declutter your space as a way to also declutter your mind. Take an inventory of the room that you're currently in. Is there one thing that you can clean, store, donate, recycle, or throw away? Yeah. So somebody has been talking to somebody who, you've been talking to somebody just one-on-one, and they're looking at something like, they're telling me with their heart, I can end that right now. Somebody basically like they can end that. In other words, somebody really believes that they can cross any kind of boundaries with you. Somebody in your family think they can cross any kind of boundary. Two people, they link up, they like, oh. So let's say, for instance, if it's a man that in your family, let's say you have a kind of a broad chest, you know, and people are attracted to you. There could be like a man in your family, you know, somebody else is like, oh yeah, Virgo, they just let anything go through. So we can overstep a boundary with Virgo. We've been owing them money for 20 years, ain't giving them a dime back. They just keep on just acting like nothing is going on. So you're going to learn how to enforce boundaries with toxic masculine energies, men or women. You're going through a transformation. You're going to learn how to enforce boundaries. Because some people really feel like they can just take from you and just leave you just out here naked. You believing or wishing on a star, believing in your dreams. And I do see you being, like I said, authoritative and making some kind of major transformation. So you're hitting a reset button. You're coming back for everything the enemy stole from you. And the first thing first is with family. That's first and foremost that you're taking back. You're sending a very strong message to family members. I will cut you off in a heartbeat. And you don't even have to say it to them. Some people, they have such a hard time cutting family members off. It's family over everything. You can fall for that spell if you want to, because that's not true. Obviously, some people didn't see you as everything. And so Source is saying to you, when you start showing pictures and I'm sending this around, I like this person and I didn't know they was this and that and so on and so forth. And the family members are like, oh, I took everything else from Virgo. I can take this from Virgo too. You want to lighten your load. Somebody has been carrying other people's world on your shoulders, right? So, yeah. When you got a family member that's just like disrespectful and disregard you like that, like, oh, I can take anything away from, just Virgo and somebody else in the family. So it's just saying, you know what? It's time for you. You're on the wrong team. You're on the wrong team in the family. You're on team bully, right? You're on the wrong team. So, freedom. I no longer want this this fiery ring of resentment to block the good. Release me from its bonds. Yeah. So things are balancing out right now because some people have overstepped some boundaries. They could be, very angry in your family and they have overstepped some boundaries and significantly lowered your worth, your self-worth, as well as your money. So they have significantly overstepped boundaries. And Source is balancing some things out, but you're sending out a very, very strong message that they cannot come back in your direction again. They can pretend like they don't know what they did. It doesn't even really matter. Cut them off. What you got a sword for? Get structured and authoritative and cut them off. At the very moment you start realizing your money started going down, your physical money started going down, that energy should not have access to inside your house. I can't say this any clearer. They should not be able to allow them to come to your home, period. I don't care what the situation is. They could be standing outside, jumping up and down like they're about to urinate on themselves. Let them go find a local bathroom. I can't say this no clearer than that. They have grossly overstepped boundaries. That's why somebody's money keeps going down. This is from somebody's family. Whoever you were hooking up with, they have no respect, no regard. Somebody is bullying them and they feel like it's okay to bully you. No sir and no ma'am. So if you like somebody and they overstep that boundary too, they don't care. Matter of fact, these are the type of spirits, Virgos, you got to learn real quick that they want to swap lives with you in some way, shape, form, or fashion. So if they have some kind of a criminal record for violence, they would love for you to put your hands on them. They can get the authorities involved, right? so they could play victim. So it's saying you need to wise up real fast. Stop talking to family members first and foremost that keep lowering your worth and your value, messing up your money, letting certain family members live with you. Next thing you know, your marriage is over if you're in a romantic relationship. I mean, like what? I don't even know what else to say here. You know, your friendship's gone down the toilet because you letting people come around. Next thing you know, you being accused of doing some stuff you never even did. Why do you think back? Okay, who was around you during the time that people are accusing you of some stuff? Bingo, same family members. Same family members. Y'all will wake up. Y'all will wake up. Who was around you in the workplace before, you know, things start going downhill for you in the workplace? Next thing you know, you're getting called into the manager's office. Your worth and your value, and y'all know how meticulous you all are, Virgos. Like y'all are perfectionists. Y'all want to get it right? But somehow linking up with certain energies have significantly lowered your abundance and your prosperity. You know, you start noticing their life is on an incline, but yours is on a decline. These are family members. You'll meet the same type of spirits outside of your bloodline, outside of your blood relatives. So somebody feels like it's worth it for them to stay link up with you and hook up with you, excuse me, because they feel like, okay, this person increases my worth and my value. Every time you had a good idea, guess what? You pass it off to them. Okay, oh, thank you. They got good ideas. They don't say a word to you about anything. Somebody is getting ready to find out. You always got their back. They don't have a problem stabbing you in the back. Talk about grossly overstepping boundaries. Grossly overstepping boundaries. So Source said you need to wake up. You need to get around some other stars that don't have a problem with using that sword. All right. The same ones that people talk about. Oh, they would just cut. I can't believe they would cut their own so-and-so family member off. Yes, they would. In a heartbeat. Yes, they would. They wouldn't even bat an eyelash because they've already thought about it. And they recognize, wow, this energy just be overstepping boundaries, just like no respect, because they figure they don't have anything to lose. You're going through a very powerful transformation. You're going to start keeping your mouth closed. But them family members are like family members that's like friends that you telling people stuff. I really like so and so. I want to talk to so and so, and they sitting there secretly plotting and planning to talk to them too. You showing pictures and well, what do you think about this? They secretly hating, but it's not even a secret anymore because you know exactly who they are. Solar plexus chakra. You better put on the full armor of God when you're dealing with certain family members. Well, just period. So Source can start showing you who is who. That's why if you start thinking about in the past, you're going to hear people tell you stories. When you're around other stars, when they're dealing with family members, and I'm not talking about celebrities, so we're crystal clear. The stars are people who they're operating in their purpose already. And so there's some level of shine there already. They know why they're here. They know what their purpose is. And so they're thriving in their purpose. Not just in survival mode, but thriving in their purpose. They're not going to deviate too much from the path. They can be flexible with it without being scared, that kind of thing, right? And so people want to attach themselves to the light. It's like the soap opera, The Guiding Light. They feel like that's going to be their guide, right? So people are like, okay, pick a side. Which side you on, right? Who you hooking up with? You on this side, this side. You just flailing in the wind. So Source wants somebody to remove that resentment, that ring of fire from around, that ring of resentment, right? Free yourself from that, right? Free yourself from that. Hooking up with energies who are just stubborn. They feel like something is their way or the highway. Get away from those types of energies. You have your own star. You need to get in your star energy, for real. Get in your star energy. I don't care who think, whatever, whoever. I'm here for a purpose. I need to find out what my 10th house is. And I need to start operating in that. I guarantee you've already been on that path. You're just returning to pure consciousness. It's just some family members or friends that's like family, or an organization that you're connected with, because that could also be Hierophant. It could be an organization where you open and close with prayer in your meetings. It doesn't necessarily have to be a church, a mosque, or temple. It can be another kind of an organization, but somebody has all of this misplaced aggression, anger, frustration, but it's because of who you've been linking up with. So it makes it easy for people to know what line they can cross with you and what line they can't cross with you. Somebody gonna have to recognize, hey, listen, you're a star, you've been a star. It's time to wake up to that. Time to wake up to that and declutter. That is what I have for you. Hopefully this is helpful. I'll see you all in the next video. Again, this is a general reading, so take on what resonates with you. If you're interested in a personal reading, my information is down below in the description. I do birth chart readings, you know, I have gemstones, crystals, oils, all those kind of things. But you can go to my website for that. But again, you want to get a personal reading, schedule it. But some people, it's hard, I'm telling y'all, and this is no judgment, it's hard for some people because generationally, right? This is a generational. So it's not immediately clear, but it's so hard for some people to break that chain with their own family members. It really, really is. Until you break it and you feel like, okay, you're out here by yourself. But that's where that strength comes in. You feel very naked and vulnerable by yourself. Some people was like, you know what? They was born to starve. So, hey, they used to it. Used to being stabbed in the back, nightmares, having people's backs and then turn around being stabbed, and then people using your name for clout, all of that mess. So people, you know, can't wait to humiliate you in any way, shape, form, or fashion, and then somehow make money off of it. That's what stars go through. And we're not talking about celebrities either. All right, that's what I have for you. Hopefully this is helpful. I'll see you all in the next video.